Welcome back, viewers. This is Business Compass, the GPS for your business. And it's a joy to have Nana here with us. And we're talking about his business, which produces really lovely yogurt. So, one of your main challenges is access to finance and the forex risk. Luckily, we have a former deputy minister of finance here, so I think she's well placed to address the forex risk, and the issues around financing. Mona, help us.
Thank you, Charlotte. Yes. So, Nana, I mean, this is a product that, as you said earlier, depends on milk. That's one of the main ingredients.
The main, I think.
And that is something that you import. Yeah. And I know that you talked about the fact that customers have this preference for a certain taste, and that if you used a different kind of milk powder, they would even let you know that the taste has changed. Therefore, you were locked into bringing this particular milk powder, I think from Ireland, you said?
Initially from Ireland, but then we switched to another supplier. Yeah.
Still from Europe?
From Europe, yes.
Okay.
Please.
So this means that, first of all, you need to go to a bank, try and get an LC to bring in the consignment. Yeah. And in fact, you need to bring in more than you need, as you said, because you bring in a container, the minimum requirement. Sourcing finance for this goes back to your production. The good news is that you have started and you have numbers that show that indeed you can cover your costs, because looking at your return, you are at the minimum making somewhere between 18 to 20% return on what you invest each cycle. Therefore, any bank seeing that, and you need to speak to it to the credit officers. You need to explain to them very clearly and take them through the numbers that indeed you can repay any facility that you pick from them, any loan that they give to you. Because for them, that is the critical thing, ability to repay the loan. So you need to do that together with your accountant. Sit with the banks, and this time you need to move.
Do you have an accountant?
I have someone who prepares the books at the end of the year, but basically, in the course of the year, I handle most of the finances.
I'm seeing where the challenge is coming from now. So now the thing is, unfortunately, I now have to go to the legal issues I was trying to avoid. You're sitting on a fortune, but the world is not going to recognize the value of this business until you also treat it a bit more seriously as a business. And you've been very focused on operations, and that's normal. Every entrepreneur, you can be drowned in the operational stuff. But when you need financing, no bank is going to be looking at all the operational stuff. They're going to be looking at your numbers and your compliance. So first of all, you are a limited liability company. That comes with requirements. And your ability to access financing is actually tied to some of that. So you must have a proper board. Now imagine if you had somebody with 50% of Mona's finance knowledge on your board. You wouldn't be here because you would have been able to attract the financing you need, and probably cheaper. So you need a proper board that gives you the skill sets that you need so that you can focus on operations and they can focus on making you do right, or putting a structure that supports everything else you're doing. You need a company secretary so that you keep proper minutes, proper decisions are taken. Now, any finance company that wants to invest, they are looking at you as a risk. Those are the things that make you look more attractive and more serious. So you have serious people on your board, you have board minutes, you're passing the right resolutions, you have a proper strategy in place because the board will make you do that. So people see the board as a burden, but really it is what really enables you to move to the next level where society takes you seriously. And you are not going to attract the financing until you do this. If you had a board, you would have had not just somebody who does your books, you would have had a proper auditor. So your accounts will be done properly, and it is the board that is looking and telling you that no, this is too high, this is too low, we're doing well here, we're not doing well here, and that gives you the direction to actually go to the destination you want to get to. So at this point, what you're trying to do is you're mixing the yogurt, and you're driving the car and trying to get to the destination, and so you're spilling some yogurt. You can imagine how that works. Now, if you had a board, that means there's someone driving that vehicle, and you are just concentrating on mixing. Does that help? So that's why you need to restructure and get that done. If you had that done, you would have attracted, and it may not just be a bank, it may have been venture capital. which means that somebody says, I'm looking at this, see, I'm going to put $2 million. Imagine what $2 million would do for you today without interest.
Yep.
I'm going to take equity, put in $2 million, take some shares, get this thing off and running. When you explode and you're making money, they leave.
That's right.
And you own it, and then you can look at other partners. So there are so many options, but we cannot even find you those options until you fix the legal and the compliance stuff.
Solid.
Yeah.
That lecture helps.
Oh,
Yeah.
super. I
so.
really enjoyed
Yeah,
it.
yeah. Charlotte, just to tag on to
Yes.
what you said, the governance aspect really helps you with the financing.
Yeah.
So now the new buzzwords are ESG, environmental sustainability governance. So Charlotte has spoken to a lot of the governance issues. In terms of environmental, if you had a board, we'll start discussing
The
what
packaging.
kind of things, in terms of packaging,
Green
how,
packaging.
how you contribute to the protection of the environment.
The environment.
You know,
So,
carbon issues, you know, and all that to make you even more attractive to any financial institution, or even sometimes to angel funding.
Yeah.
And like Charlotte said, venture capital, crowdfunding, all those funding, they ask certain questions.
Let
And
me give you
environmental
an
is
example.
big.
When I read your profile, one of the things I thought about was saturation. I mean, it's a bad word in some places, but it also makes the goods more accessible to lower income people because you're bringing it in
a
smaller
volumes.
sizes.
We actually have actually something we're going to start in the next 2 weeks. I'm supposed to clear
Okay.
so we're changing the smaller bottle packaging. This is a lot of plastic, the small bottles,
Yeah.
okay? So we're looking at pouches, the same sealable,
Exactly.
same
Paper.
volume. It's not paper, it's actually plastic, but it's less
No, but there's
plastic.
a paper one.
Yes, definitely.
And
But you know, because
especially for school kids.
exactly,
It's greener.
it is occupies
So
less
maybe the way to go,
space,
yes. And then you
less-
toss it into their school lunch boxes as they're going to school. Smaller paper pouches.
with kids, because the product is not pasteurized, we advise that unless you can maintain the temperature of the product from home till it's consumed, then we can either have a direct relationship with the school where we supply the school directly and then the kids pick it up, because if it's in their
Yeah.
lunch pack with the warm food, the product heats up and that can become a problem going
But
forward.
a lot of the lunch boxes will also have a cold and a
Cool,
warm
exactly.
bed.
So once you have
So
that,
you can
no
recommend
problem.
that,
Yeah,
yeah.
you can actually.
Or you may start at some point when you make money, giving that as part of the
That's
promotional item so that kids can take it in little ice
Ice,
bags
yes.
and take
And
it to
then,
school.
yeah.
But there are so many options, but
Yeah. Charlotte, the last thing in terms of ensuring financing,
Yeah.
for you especially, is sustainability.
yes.
We've talked about ability to repay. Finance companies or banks want to see that the business is sustainable. It's
Yeah.
going to be here in the next 4 or 5 years. You are feeding both children and adults. There's no doubt that if you do well, if you keep your costs down, if you ensure that you are marketing properly, you are distributing properly, the product is getting to people as it should get to them, and they are enjoying the benefits, then you can sustain it. Charlotte has talked about packaging, being able to use sustainable packaging. So whether it's paper, whether it's plastic, how you line it and all that is important. And then your culture and so forth. Climate change is real. And therefore, you need to be looking at ways of making sure that your culture continues to be correct. If I recall, that's about bacteria and so forth. Yeah. So ensuring that you still have a good quality product and the company continues. That's it for me.
That's great advice, if I say so myself. Kwame, Nana says he's having challenges finding, this one I think you'll enjoy, reliable, trustworthy people to work with as employees and vendors. Haven't we all experienced that?
I want to ask Nana, the advice that Charlotte has given, the advice that Moon has given, how do you see it? 1, has it confused you? 2, do you think you can implement it?
No, I'm not confused. I truly understand what they're talking about, and I actually did some soul search and we actually got to this point. And yes, implementation, it's something we will be able to do. It will take a bit of time, but then with the right guidance and advice, I'm sure.
If you need advice, I can support you.
Super.
Upscale in terms of
We're very grateful for that.
implementing,
Yes.
So can I say, at this point, you've been trading for 9 years.
Yeah,
I remember when I spoke to you off air,
Yeah.
that was a challenge for me.
Yeah.
Would I be right in saying that you're a jack of all trades and master of none?
Where is that from? What
Yeah,
did you guys discuss
trading.
off air?
I would agree with you a bit, because in the beginning I had to do almost everything myself. Like we spoke earlier on, I'm trying to move the various aspects of the business out of my control and put right people in place. So in the beginning, where I would be in charge of production, supply, distribution, buying raw materials, all that, I've moved most of those things on.
But that's how most businesses start.
Yeah, it's now left with the administrative aspect of the business. Like you said, the board of directors, the accountants, the auditors.
Putting your management structure together.
Super. So that's the part where that's where we are right now, and then we're trying to also
Move forward
with that as well. Yeah.
In terms of your competition, looking at your product, when I even look through the bottle, I can see the content is very good.
Yeah.
Just looking at it, compared to others. In terms of the kind of bottle that you've chosen, a lot of companies that are doing yogurt are using the same bottle.
Yeah.
So how does it stand out?
How does it stand out?
Yeah. So
It is
So you
something.
need a differentiation
yes.
strategy.
yeah. So I honestly wish I had the other packaging to show you. I hope maybe another time, when another opportunity, I'll get the opportunity to show you that. But then the new packaging is far more attractive than this one. Like I said, it's more green, for want of a
Okay.
better word, because it's less plastic. It's more convenient to carry around. Yeah.
So, you need a certain, and I'm sure Charlotte did say it, you need a certain brand to push your product.
Yeah.
And the health food brand side can push your product.
Yeah.
The other
When
thing,
you say health food brand side, what do you mean?
in terms of, it's not the normal yogurt that people buy, but your brand should be the kind of brand that people see that although it's yogurt, there's something to it that makes
Okay.
it better than
I think I'm
others.
getting where Kwame is going. You're talking, how do we differentiate his brand from the
Exactly,
other one? Okay.
exactly.
We're going to take a break, and when we come back, I think we'll focus on that, because I also have something to say about your name. So we'll deal with all that together, the name, the differentiation strategy, and I think it ties into the marketing, which was one of the challenges you brought up. So viewers, will take a quick break, and when we come back, we'll look at marketing you better.
Immediately the product was actually introduced to me, I wanted to get on it, and that was the Gold Check account, guys. This has actually changed my business. So on the First National Bank app, you have the business toolkits that gives you all the information that you need to run your business, and whatever inquiries you have, they're always ready to answer, and that makes life very easy for me. And you have the in contacts that helps you access every transaction that takes place or happens. Now, point of sales terminal, I market wherever I go, and so I love to have that so I can take payment, especially with those who tell me I do not have cash. A bank that understands that you can start life all over again or start a business from scratch. Very keen on running it and making sure that you grow to the core. It's one you should look out for. My name is Jifa Bekre Gray, the CEO of Jifa Gray Creations. I recommend that you sign up to the Gold Check account from First National Bank for a great banking experience.
Whatever the occasion, with ATL, you can never be out of style. ATL, bringing fabric to life.